Hey, welcome to Unicargo review. In this video, we're going to talk about Unicargo, which is a company that helps sellers ship products all around the world. In this video, we're going to see how it works, what is the structure of Unicargo, and how it can help you, the viewer, with shipping your cargo around the world. In the description, we're going to have all the links connected to Unicargo so you can contact the guys and see what they're all about. Today with me, Rafael. He's the owner and the creator of Unicargo. And me and Rafael, we have worked in the past when I was in the beginning of my Amazon journey in like 2017 for shipping. So it's interesting to have him today with us. And he's also been growing his company ever since. So that's very interesting to see how it's been growing. Rafael, man, can you introduce yourself to us, man? And then we're going to dive into talking about
Yep,
Unicargo, how
yep,
you can
yep.
help people.
First of all, Boba, thank you for having me. I'm very excited. So my name is Rafael. I'm the founder of Unicargo. Unicargo is a company I started back in 2015, 7 years ago. After many, many years in the logistics industry, in the freight forwarding business, working for freight forwarding companies, I learned about the e-commerce businesses, Amazon sellers, and I realized that there is a very big void in the market, gap in the market between how traditional freight forwarders treated or handled these types of clients. And I understood that these guys need help. These guys have specific needs, but traditional freight forwarding companies didn't really know how to handle these types of clients. So I decided to start a company to focus on e-commerce businesses. We started with Amazon sellers. Today we do many different types of clients and industries, but we started with Amazon sellers. We still provide ocean freight services, air freight services, express, rail, warehousing services all around the world. And our company grew very fast as the e-commerce, industry grew. Today we have offices in China, our own offices in China, our own offices in the US. Our headquarters are in Israel, so the management team is here in Israel. We have warehousing operations in China. We have 5 different warehouses in China. We have warehouses in the US, in Germany, in UK, in Australia, in Canada. And that's a service that a lot of e-commerce businesses need. We started buying companies after COVID. So we own a trucking company in the US as well, a trucking company in China. So basically, we're kind of building a group of logistics companies that will allow us to provide basically the best rates out there, the best service out there, because we control everything. It's all in-house. And yeah, that's like the overview of what we do.
So basically, if a seller today comes to you and he might be like myself, I sell private label, we create in China and we ship to USA and Canada mostly. But maybe there's a seller who creates in India and he's looking for, let's say, a solution to send to Amazon. Can they talk to you guys and ask that?
Yeah.
How is the communication with Unicargo going? So as you mentioned, you have warehouses as well. If I understand, that's
Yeah.
warehouses that can store the products. Yes, you mean
Yeah,
as
receive
warehouses? Yeah.
store products, do
Mhm.
Amazon prep, labeling, inserts, bundling,
Okay.
kitting. We do reverse logistics as well, which means we handle returns for e-commerce businesses. So basically, yeah, a freight forwarder, Unicargo, and any other respected freight forwarding company would ship cargo from anywhere in the world to anywhere in the world. Every freight forwarder has an expertise though, right? So if
Okay.
you contact I don't know, an Indian freight forwarder, their expertise would probably be import into India and export out of India, right?
Okay.
Every freight forwarder has their own expertise. They do everything, but they will have expertise, right? Our expertise are e-commerce businesses and the Asia, Southeast Asia to North America route. We
Mhm.
do Europe as well, we do Israel as well, but the main expertise is basically the Asian market, where the biggest manufacturers are, to North America, which is the USA, Canada. We do a lot of Europe to USA, USA to Europe as well. Obviously, India, as you mentioned. But to answer your question, the way it works is, and it took us a couple of years to realize the right structure for e-commerce businesses, because there is a very big variety of sizes of companies, right? You might be a first timer right? That might be your first shipment ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And you might be a very, very big company who has hundreds of shipments every month. With the years, we learned how to handle every type of client differently. So we built different business units inside the company that actually acts as smaller companies. And these business units would specialize in different types of clients. So basically, we have a business unit that specializes in first timers. They know that these guys will have a lot of questions. A lot of questions. They will not know, the professional lingo. They will not understand import duty. They will not understand product classification. They will not understand customs exam. So these guys are trained to be much more patient with them, answer hundreds of questions. Even before they get a shipment, they will answer everything. They will go on a Zoom call with them, and they will take them hand by hand until they'll understand everything and understand the price they're getting and book a shipment, right? And there are different business units for, I don't know, for cosmetics industry. We have a business unit for the cosmetics industry because it's huge for us. And we have a business unit for Amazon aggregators, which are typically a bigger organizations with supply chain manager. They are much more professional and they need different handling than the first timer.
Interesting, man.
So a client would approach us either via email, through our website, through social media, and we will do what we call lead qualification. We will start asking them questions to understand where we should direct them internally, right? How many shipments have you had in the past 12 months, right? Which marketplaces do you sell in? Which industry you're in? Once we understand who we are talking to, we can divert them into the right business unit internally, and then they'll take it from there. So basically, we start by asking the guys a question. You'll come to us, doesn't matter the channel, you can come through, again, social media, website, email, WhatsApp, phone, it doesn't matter the actual channel, but the first thing that we will do is try to get to know you, or who are we talking to, what kind of organization you work for. Are you a one-man show, does everything, or are you just a logistics manager in a bigger company, or are you the founder, are you the owner, are you a VA? So again, these things came with experience, with the years of doing that business.
Nice, man. And for sure, we're going to have all the links to talk to you. That's going to be Unicargo's website. Maybe there's a messenger. You'll tell me maybe after the video, we'll place it all for the convenience of our viewers. Next question I have, man, like, as those who are listening, maybe they might be interested in working with you. What should we bring to the table? Like, should we just come and start a conversation easily with you? Say like, Rafael and his team, guys, we are such a seller. What should we prepare? Because this can save time both for you and for us. Potentially, what do you think?
So basically, again, it really depends on the size of the client. We've seen that a lot of the first timers, they would start looking for a freight forwarder even before they have a product, right? They will try to understand what's their cost, what their landed cost, right? I'm trying to produce this and that product. I need to understand what would be my shipping cost. So a lot of, let's call them smaller sellers would contact freight forwarders even before they have their cargo ready, or even before they have production. And what they need to bring to the table there, to your question, is basically the size or the estimated size of shipment they have, like how many cartons, what are going to be the sizes of the cartons, what are going to be the weight of the cartons, where their supplier is located, at least which country and which city. Basically, we can start work with that to give them an estimation, even if they don't have, as an Amazon seller, sometimes you don't really have the destination delivery address because you haven't created your shipping plan yet. And we know how to deal with that. So basically, we'll give them 3-4 different options, right? And we will average that. So we will give them like an estimate, right? So you're going to produce this, it's going to be ready in a month. All right, based on the details you gave us, this is going to be your estimated shipping cost, right? Again, it would change based on the final delivery address, but we can give you an overview, or at least a glance or an estimate of how much you expect to pay, right? If you are a more advanced seller, again, we would need the same things, but we would need the destination delivery address, the pickup address. If you need any additional work done on your cargo, like consolidation from different suppliers, warehousing options, I don't know, distribution into multiple Amazon fulfillment centers at the destination marketplace. So basically, the most important thing you need to bring to a table when you talk to a freight forwarder is your cargo detail, right? And again, that's for if you are trying to do a transaction, if you have a shipment and you need a quote. Sometimes you get people contacting you just to learn who you are, what you can do, what abilities you have, where are you located, do you have warehousing here, do you have warehousing there, and that's kind of an open conversation, so you don't really need to prepare anything. You just need to come with your questions, with the questions you want to know, and we can go on a meeting with you, on a Zoom call or a face-to-face meeting based on where you are located, and then just have a friendly conversation of explaining you about our business, about our experience, about what we do, and basically answer all the questions you might have.
Got it, man. And for example, we get answers that satisfy us, and we're like, okay, that's interesting. Seems like we might get a price quote as well, right? I believe if we're going for a transactional talk here, if we're only asking like, hey, Rafael, do you have a warehouse, let's say in Dallas? Can we send? That's like maybe it will become transactional, but starting is just questions. But let's say people are like, okay, I want to continue working and I want to go towards transaction. When do we pay? Do we pay when you guys take the cargo? Do we pay when you check the cargo in your warehouse, see that it fits what we told you? How does it work?
That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question, because I see sellers online always asking these questions, right? The freight forwarder is asking me for payment in advance. Is it common? Should I pay after the delivery? Should I pay before the delivery? And the answer to that is very individual. It depends who you are. For example, let's say you are an established seller, you have 300 shipments a month, you have 10 shipments a month, you already work with a freight forwarder. Most of the freight forwarders that you will talk to, they will offer you payment terms, right? They will offer you, right, you can have net 30, right? You can pay 30 days after the invoice is issued. You can pay after delivery. They will offer you terms. It also depends on what is your company, or where is it located, or how it is structured, right? If you have a US company, an LLC, or a European company, or an Israeli company, it's very easy to check the history of that company, right? With external resources to run a credit score check. And that's our finance team does. If you have a healthy score, if we see that you don't have any problems, we are very happy to offer credit terms, right? For us, it's another selling point, right? Not only the price, but we'll give you comfortable payment terms. Now, if this is a guy who came randomly from the web, right, through our website, he put his cargo details, he wants a quote, he wants to proceed with a quote, we don't know him, it's his first time, it's his first transaction, we will probably ask for a payment in advance. And not when I say payment in advance is I will first pick up the cargo, we'll contact our China office, will contact his supplier, we will pick up the cargo, we will measure it to make sure that what we've actually received matches the RFQ or the details you submitted to us. Once it matches, we will issue an invoice for payment, and then the shipment moves on, right? Sometimes someone would ask for a 5 CBM shipment quote. We would pick it up and we found out, no, it's not 5 CBM, it's 8 CBM, right? It's almost double. Why? Because he mixed up his I don't know, carton dimensions. The supplier didn't give the seller the right details. So there are a lot of, it's not mixed up, but there are a lot of differences between what you actually think you have and what you actually have. And we can only find out about it only after we pick up the cargo to our warehouse and look at it and measure it, right? So in order not to give you two different invoices, right? Invoice from the get-go, from once you approve a quote, and then another invoice because it's not what we thought it is. We're gonna pick up the car. We're gonna start the shipment before asking you for anything. But once we get the shipment, we will ask for payment. But again, the main thing to understand is it depends who you are. And you can be a first timer. You can be a first time shipper and still get payment terms. Do you know how? By not creating a transactional relationship. And it's all about relationship, right? Go to your freight forwarder, not only to us, to any freight forwarder. Go to your freight forwarder, talk to them, go on a Zoom call with them, explain about your business, explain about who you are. Try to develop a relationship. You're talking to people. Once a freight forwarder will understand this person on the other side is here to build a relationship, to build a business, they will be happy. Again, most of the time, they will be happy to give you payment terms, right? Okay, I've listened to the guy, he seems reasonable, He knows what he's doing. That's his first shipment. Let him pay after the delivery. For us, it's not a big risk. Again, it takes some expertise and experience to understand how to manage the finance on people from the internet, people who came to you online. The majority of our clients come to us through online channels. We don't hire salespeople who go knock on people's door, and sign them on contracts and all of that. And it took some time in here to really develop these internal procedures on how to not lose money. And I'll tell you a secret. Every single freight forwarder, every single year, they have a sum of money that they lose because people don't pay. These guys, Amazon didn't pay them, Amazon closed their account, they disappeared. So every year you have an amount of money that you know it's lost. Your market is lost. The amount depends on the size of your company and how many shipments you move. But as you can understand, the bigger you are as a company, the bigger the amount of lost money or deleted debt is out there. So yeah, it really depends on the size and your experience working with online sellers.
Cool, man. As you mentioned, it depends on who you are, what you bring to the table, what's your experience, maybe what's your name in the industry if you come with a name, and all these things. Based on that, different payment terms can be negotiated. And yeah, man, mostly if it's first timers, that's what we expect. Like when I started paying for shipments first, I think I paid, in the beginning, like just fully, I think. Yeah, it seemed reasonable to me as a buyer, like as a customer as well. Like they don't know me. Can I ask, does it even make sense that you can be, we call it chutzpah in Israel, it's like, you can still be like, I don't know what's the word in English, kochi maybe, like, hey guys, I'm new, but I'm going to crush it. So it depends. Yeah. So maybe that person
depends on the attitude you bring to the table. Yeah. But again,
so,
even if you as a seller is being asked to pay in advance, that's fine. But once you go through 1, 2, 3, 4 shipments with the same provider, it's very, very common to have that conversation on, hey, my business is growing. You see that I'm working with you. I'm happy working with you. You are my provider. I need payment terms. And that's very, very common. It's okay to do. You need to do it. As a business owner, you need to do it. You need to ask for payment terms because you should be able to get payment terms, right? Paying in advance is not common in the shipping world. Again, in the traditional shipping world. Again, remember the traditional freight forwarder, the main business is used to work with bigger accounts, bigger companies, traditional companies, import, export, they don't pay in advance, right? So once you start building that relationship, once they get to know you and you get to know your partner, you have some kind of a relationship, you start working more and more together, you need, as a business owner, to go to the table, go online on a meeting, or face-to-face and ask for payment terms, and you'll get payment terms.
Nice, man. And then let's say we started the process. Okay, we paid, or either we said we had some payment terms. Then how do we get like a way to follow our shipment? Can we at any time ask where it is? Do we get this information? Do we get it to our email? I mean, this might change, of course. Like the processes might change, but like at least at the moment, how does it work? Because usually we want to know, especially if it's first timers. Like we're really excited. Like, hey, like where's my cargo? We're really, it's like. So how does it work?
So basically, for every shipment or for every account, for every client here, we have a dedicated logistics manager. He's the guy who runs his shipment. He can be reached anytime via WhatsApp, email, Facebook, all the social media, telephone number. You have his direct mobile number. That's for immediate communication. I don't know, something is on fire, you want to call somebody. We also have our digital platform where you can actually track your shipments, see all the milestones, all the documents, all the invoices, and every single milestone on the way you can see on the platform. But we are what we call a digital freight forwarder. Everything for us is online. We are very transparent with our client. We are able and we love to give our clients as much details as possible. So our system sends automatic email notifications on important milestones, right? Your cargo was picked up, your cargo was booked, your cargo has departed, your cargo has arrived, custom cleared, delivered, expected to be delivered. So these are automated emails that are generated from our system. Besides that, you have our system so you can log in whenever, wherever, anytime and see exactly where your shipment is, or look for documents or look for communication. And we are taking a different approach here, but by saying we are a digital freight forwarder. We provide everything online, but it is very, very important to us to maintain that human communication, right? Logistics it's an industry that shit happens all the time. There are always delays, always problems, all the time. There are hiccups all the time. And we look at it as an advantage. We want to be out there for our clients. We want to be accessible. So you have everything you need online. You don't really need us. It's all self-service, but you still have a direct telephone number for the guy who actually moves your shipment. So you can talk to him, you can ask him questions, you can remind him, you can consult with him. I think that's one of our main strengths, all right? And that's why people love working with us, because we are very, very accessible. I'm the founder. We have almost 150 or 200 employees globally, but I'm always available. My WhatsApp number is all over my email. People reach out to me directly on Facebook and on LinkedIn to ask questions, to consult. That's the DNA of our company. If I'm available and I'm the founder, anytime, anywhere, in any channel, I'm available to every single client and even a prospect. Even if you are not a client, you can talk to me directly and I'll answer immediately. That's the DNA I've developed in the company, and that's how I teach my manager, and how they teach. That's how they teach the operations team, the customer service team, the billing, the finance, everything. For me, that's the most important thing. The accessibility, the human touch, and that my client will know that he has someone to talk to any day, anytime, 24/7. He can reach out to the phone and talk to someone. And if this guy is not available, he can talk to the person above him. So there's always also an escalation point. If you have a problem, if you're not happy with something, you can talk to the manager of that guy. You can talk to me. You can talk to anybody in our organization. For me, that's the beautiful thing about our organization. And that's something that I've built my organization based on.
Nice, man. So like transparency, and like you said, you as the owner, and you have a lot of people around the world that work together, but still you're accessible. If people can still reach out to you, and of course, maybe you'll not answer immediately, or maybe yes, who knows? Like, but yeah, we understand that you're also busy, but like it's still possible to talk to you. Your email is around. We're gonna, if possible, also leave in the description all the ways to contact Unicargo.
Yeah, I'll leave my social media, my direct communication, my email. For me, it's a great way to get to know my audience. For me, it's a great way to learn about my organization. You know, I say that all the time, but I love when unhappy customers talk to me. I love that, and I embrace that. And I think for me, you know, I always say to my employees, an unhappy customer or an unsatisfied customer, it's like a consultant without an invoice. He tells you exactly what's wrong. He shows you processes that needs to be improved, and it's for free. It's a consultant without an invoice. So that's why I'm always out there. That's why I always put my emails, my telephone numbers, my social media links every time, everywhere. I want customers to reach out to me, to tell me about the good things, and also to tell me about the bad things or the things that needs to be improved. And that's, I think, a key to success in any organization or any freight forwarding company or any service provider, right? As an owner, you always want to hear your customers. I see a lot of business owners that grew companies and they became separate, right? They are not there. They have managers. They say, all right, the manager will take care of everything. I'm a bit different. For me, what helps me being connected to my organization, to every single process, is talking to my clients. Again, on everything. On the good things and especially on the bad things. For me, I prefer to talk about the bad things from the good things, because that's where I learn the most.
Nice, man. It's interesting that this conversation is not only about like Unicargo. I mean, it is about Unicargo as a company, but I'm learning a lot about like building an organization and what it takes to make an organization successful and where people trust it more. And by, as far as I understand, by staying out there in the fields as the owner, it helps. Yeah, because people see who you are, you're open, that builds trust. And what do you do now, going on like videos and all that, that, you know, you educate others, and that also builds trust, and that's cool. And yeah, it helps. So I appreciate that you're with us today here. And I wanted to ask you, man, Rafael, about like payments. How do we pay? Is it credit cards, PayPal? Does it change? Like, what is usually the process? Is it paid through your platform, I guess? Because you mentioned this digital freight forwarder. So can we get a digital quote as well, and then eventually pay it digitally through the website? We do have like humans to talk to if we need, but all this process is actually without humans, if I understand, to some extent.
All right.
At
So
least
so
at some
basically,
point.
once an invoice is generated, manually via human, right? Your account manager will generate an invoice because he knows your shipment, he knows what happened, he knows if there are any additional charges, he knows that he talked to you and explained to you about it. Again, a couple of years ago, we had our billing team. We have a complete billing team who issued invoices, but we found out that they are not connected to the operations.
Yeah.
And sometimes they issue an invoice when nobody has actually talked to the client. Hey, there is a customer's exam here. There is an additional $300. Now, customer gets an invoice and is surprised. And that's not good customer service. So we changed that. And now we issue invoices manually by the actual guy who actually moved the shipment and talked to by our account manager. So the invoice is issued manually. You get an automated email once the invoice is issued with payment links, right? You can pay by Payoneer, you can pay by credit card, you can pay by bank transfer, you can pay by, and we made sure we have banks all over the world to make it easier for people. We work with people from all over the globe. So we have bank accounts in Israel, in the US, in Canada, in Europe, in China. So basically we give you every single option for payment so you can pay. So you get an email with a link. Press the link and you go to a credit card webpage if you want to pay by a credit card. The sum is already there. You just need to put your details and press pay. If you want to pay by a bank transfer, you press the link and you get all the bank information all around the world. If you pay by Payoneer, if you want to pay by Payoneer, we give you the email address that associated for the payment. So basically, we made it very, very accessible. On our platform, you see all of your invoices, you see the status of every single invoice, and you can pay there as well. So basically, we made sure, because again, we are a company that we want to get paid, so we made sure this is the payment process is very, very accessible, and not only accessible, that we have as big as many payment options as we can have, right? To meet every client's needs, basically.
Nice, man. So again, I'll remind our viewers that we're going to have in the description a way to contact Unicargo. If we're going to have any special offer for the viewers, I'm going to add it later on in the description. Maybe we'll be able to come up with something for those who are first time with Unicargo, I believe, so they can get something cool to start with. Should I have asked you something about Unicargo that I haven't asked yet? What do you think? Like, we went through the payments, we went through like your kind of DNA, what you guys represent, how it works. I believe
that's a good question.
Yeah, that usually maybe other people ask, and it's common, but I didn't ask. So maybe something comes up, and if not, I can ask the next question. Maybe we did cover. Maybe in comments we can also ask people to write if they have more questions, of course.
Yeah, I love to get questions from the audience and answer that. That's a brilliant idea. I would ask, what is the secret sauce for Unicargo? What made Unicargo successful?
That was my next question, kind of. How come you built it to a few hundred people? You're growing, you're adding more like clients, different types of clients, different types of businesses, different types of countries, of services. So how come it's working? It's because you got to make it work, right? You got to make it grow. It sounds not simple, but I'm curious. There are many things, of course. Yeah, probably like so many, right? But maybe amongst what you think is like the most important that help.
Again, that's a very, very wide question. For me, you got to find a scalable industry, right? That you have room for growth. B, and that's the most important thing, is you got to provide the best customer experience you can get, you can dream of, right? Customer service, customer experience, for me, that's the first thing I wake up with and the last thing I go to sleep with. I always talk about it with my employees, with my managers, because again, we are in the service provider industry. Right, service is what we provide, and if you don't have good customer service as a service provider, you just don't have a business, and that's something many entrepreneurs fall. I'll tell you something. I'm so obsessed with customer satisfaction and customer service. I do secret shopper in my company. I disguise to a customer, and I go to my company and I move products. I see what the customer feels when they talk to us. I see how my team replies. I see how fast they reply. I see how they handle problems. I like to talk to my pre-sale team or people that talk to sellers before they become clients. And once I see a customer books a shipment with us, I ask to be CC'd sometimes on email. Once I see a new client books a shipment with us, I contact him directly. When nobody knows, I reach out to the guy, the new client. I call him and I say, hey, I'm the founder. I'm conducting Secret Shopper. I'll give you another $100 discount. Let me be your logistics manager. I open a Gmail account and I actually all of a sudden work for my client. Start asking my team questions on behalf of my client. I ask them, where is my shipment? What do you send me this and not this? Why there is a delay? And how do I pay? When do I start asking questions? And I get to absorb the experience my clients feel in my company and how they would be treated. As an owner, you have the most critical eyes, right? You are the biggest critic of yourself. So you take that feedback that you found and you wrote down from that experience, and then you go inside to the organization. All right, we need to fix this. We need to be better at this. And this is the key, constant improvement. As a service provider, you will never reach the top. It's a constant work. There are always things to be better. There are always things to improve. Always. It never ends. But once you realize that and you do that, the organization keeps on improving. It's constant improvement. And if you think you're good, you can be better. I think that's what made us successful. That DNA, that hunger for being the best of what you do. And it's obsession. Once you're obsessed with your business, once you're obsessed with something, you'll succeed. You know, there is a saying, some people say, I'm not smart, I'm obsessed. You know, that's it. It boils down to that.
Interesting, man. So what I understand, so you sometimes can go and see the process of your own company to see how
I become the client. I become the client and not the founder. I become the client. I use my company services on behalf of my clients.
Nice, man. That's really cool. And of course, as you mentioned, kind of the transparency that it's very open. You as the owner are accessible to people, and that makes other people in your organization see how accessible you are, so they are accessible to the customers, and this creates a very comfortable environment. And
now imagine my employees seeing this video and knowing that sometimes I'm there. They are not talking to the client, they are talking to the owner, right? So in the back of their mind, it's always there.
Yeah, it's good. So they know like you're in it for them, mostly for the team itself, right? Because eventually the team itself benefits once you do the process better. So they go to work and their work is easier in a way, right? As well.
The work is easier, but it's deeper than that. They have a workplace. They have a company. Now remember, we hire a lot of people. We are responsible for people's mortgage, you know, putting you're providing for families. We have, you know, married people with mortgage, people that are in their 40s. We have people that are in their 50s. We have people in their, you know, starting their life, building families. We have a lot of responsibility. And once you build a strong organization, you give them stability. So at the end, it's for everyone's benefit. Everybody wins, right? The customer, the organization, the owner, the actual employee. He works in a good organization. The organization is profitable. He can get a raise. He see a future. The organization is growing. He has where to grow with the organization. He can progress in his role, in his career. So it's for everyone's benefit.
Nice, man. Very interesting deep dive into Unicargo and you, man, also like sharing these things. It shows a lot about you, which is really cool, man. I hope that you get to grow with the Unicargo as well, man, and you are, and hopefully you'll reach your dreams and all your people in the organization. As you mentioned, you have different ages, different stages, like, and they're all involved, and I hope that they all get to also achieve their dreams with Unicargo and your clients as well. Again, I'm going to remind our viewers, listeners, in the description, we're going to add links to Unicargo so you can go and check. They can help you ship things from, I don't know if I would say anywhere in the world. Yes, because
anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, but most importantly, if you're an e-commerce business, this is our expertise, right? Whether you need warehousing, whether you need fulfillment, whether you need distribution, whether you need trucking, whether you need reverse logistics, you have hundreds and tons of returns, customer returns. You need someone to look at these returns, receive them, sort them, send them back to suppliers, send them back to marketplaces, fulfillment back to clients. We touch every single point of the logistics chain for e-commerce businesses. And that's our main specialty. E-commerce businesses, no matter if you sell on Amazon, you sell on Walmart, you sell on Target, you sell on Shopify, you use a fulfillment center, you do fulfillment by yourself. Whatever you do on the e-commerce space, logistics-wise, we are the key player to support everything you need on, you know, moving your product, storing your product, customs procedure, regulations, expanding into new marketplaces, right? So all of that, that's our main specialty.
So again, all the links are in the description to contact Unicargo. Man, thank you, Rafael, for being a guest. It was really
Thank you
interesting.
for
We
having
talked
me.
about the company, and we really dove deep into like maybe not exactly foundations, but some parts of building a strong and growing company, which is pretty big, man. I remember again when we started, we worked with you in 2017, and you can maybe jump back in time, remember things probably were way different back
And
then for you, man. Yeah.
I started the company from, from my home, from my room, basically, from alone in front of a computer, and you just do a good job and you grow it again. As long as the industry is there, the industry is growing, the demand is growing. All you gotta do is do a good job. That's it.
Interesting point. Thank you for being a guest, man, and thanks for all
Thank you
the
very much for
listeners.
having me, man.
Thank you, Rafael. Thank you. It was really interesting. Thank you, bro. Bye.
Bye, guys.